Welcome to HBOT Journal, a channel dedicated to understanding hyperbaric oxygen therapy through evidence, science, and experience.
You've probably seen some pretty intense clips of hyperbaric chambers online. They can make it look, well, a little futuristic, a little intimidating. But what does it actually feel like to be inside one? We're going to strip away all that hype and just walk you through the real moment-by-moment experience of a session, from the very first sensation to that final quiet exit. Okay, so here's our roadmap. We're going to look at this whole thing like a journey over a gentle hill. We'll start with what people think it's like versus the reality. Then we'll start the climb up with that first feeling of pressure. At the very top, we'll talk about the psychology of it all, anxiety, stillness, and being in control. And finally, we'll take that nice, easy trip back down during decompression.
So, first things first, let's talk about expectation versus reality. You know the videos I'm talking about? Athletes emerging like they just got superpowers, super dramatic testimonials. It all creates this picture of a powerful, almost aggressive therapy. But what if the reality is actually kind of boring? And I mean that in a good way.
Right. You hear phrases like this thrown around all the time. Pressure pushes oxygen into your tissues. Now, it sounds simple enough, but that word pushes, it creates this mental image of something being forced on you, doesn't it? It's a little bit of an intimidating concept, and honestly, it's not at all what it feels like.
The reality? Well, it's pretty much the opposite of that forceful image. It is completely undramatic. Seriously, think less action movie and more calm, supervised nap. It's a slow, quiet, totally controlled process. It's really all about physics, not force. Okay, so how does this quiet process even begin? We're starting our climb now, and the first thing you're going to notice, well, it isn't some sudden jolt or an overwhelming feeling. It's actually a super subtle shift in the world around you. For just about everyone, the very first thing they feel is that familiar sense of fullness in their ears. I want to be really clear here. It's pressure, not pain. It's exactly like the feeling you get when an airplane is taking off or when you're driving up a steep mountain. You've felt this before.
So what's actually going on there? It's a really simple mechanic. See, you have this tiny pocket of air behind your eardrum. As the pressure outside changes, your body just needs to let a little puff of air in or out to match it. That's it. That's all pressure equalization is.
And here's the cool part. You are completely in the driver's seat for this. The moment you feel that fullness, you just do what you do on a plane. You give a little swallow, maybe a yawn, and that little sensation just disappears. It's a simple, quiet little partnership between you and the physics of the chamber. Now, besides your ears, you might notice a couple of other little things. As the air inside gets a bit denser, it's common to feel a gentle, temporary warmth. And sounds might start to sound a little different, maybe a bit muffled, almost like you're underwater. Again, all perfectly normal and part of that slow, controlled ride.
Okay, we've now reached the top of our hill, the plateau phase. And this part of the journey is way less about physical feelings and much more about the psychological experience. It's about that shift from feeling anxious to feeling calm, in control, and still.
And this is fascinating. Check out this chart. For so many people, the absolute most stressful part of the whole thing is waiting outside the door. That fear of the unknown can be way, way worse than the actual reality of being inside, which is usually incredibly calm and predictable.
And that makes perfect sense, right? Our brains are just wired to be a little suspicious of new things. But as soon as the session starts, and you get into the rhythm of it, that slow pressure change, the gentle hum, seeing the operator right there, that initial what-if anxiety just kind of melts away. Familiarity really does breed calm.
And here's exactly why that anxiety fades so quickly. The whole thing is designed to give you control. You're not isolated, you can see everything. The operator is right there, and you can talk to them the whole time. But most importantly, you hold the stop button. A session can be paused or stopped by you at any time for any reason. Once you're at your target pressure, the main thing you're going to feel is, well, nothing really. Just this profound sense of quiet and stillness. There's no pushing, no pulling, no weird sensations of force. And that's completely intentional. The goal is to create a totally stable, predictable, and calm environment.
So all of this leads us to what is maybe the most important part of this whole experience: communication. It's all about you knowing the difference between a normal, expected signal from your body and an alert that means you need to speak up.
Let's think of it like the dashboard in your car. That ear fullness or feeling of warmth, that's just an information light, like your check engine light. You notice it, you do something simple like swallow, and you move on. But sharp pain or feeling dizzy, that's the big, flashing pull over now warning. That's a stop signal, and you let the operator know right away.
And I really want to drive this point home. Signaling to stop is not a failure. This isn't a test of how much you can endure. It's you using the safety system exactly as it's designed. It's you demonstrating that you are in control of the experience.
And that really gets to the core of it all. A hyperbaric session is a team effort. It's a cooperative process that totally relies on open communication between you on the inside and the trained staff on the outside. It is never about toughing it out. It's about working together.
Finally, it's time for that gentle ride down the other side of the hill. The exit, which we call decompression, is just as controlled, slow, and unhurried as the entry was.
You know, the whole process is actually remarkably symmetrical. Basically, everything you felt on the way in just happens in reverse. That slight warmth goes away, sounds start to go back to normal, and your ears might give another little pop as they equalize on the way out. It all happens just as slowly and predictably as it did on the way up.
So as the pressure very slowly returns to normal, everything just goes right back to the way it was before you started. The exit is calm, it is unhurried, there's no rush, because the whole process is designed to give your body all the time it needs to comfortably adjust.
So when you peel back all that online hype and drama, what are you left with? The real experience isn't about force or intensity. It's defined by structure, by total supervision, and by your control. It's a calm, predictable process from start to finish.
And that kind of brings us to one last thought. We often think of something like claustrophobia as a fear of small spaces, but maybe for a lot of us it's actually a fear of losing control. So knowing that an experience like this is built from the ground up to give you control, to keep you safe, and to keep you in constant communication, does that change how you think about being in that kind of environment?
To continue learning, explore the HBOT Journal channel.